Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Y'all, if you're new here, I am Melissa Varian of Real Talk with Melissa. So how are y'all doing on this fine Thursday afternoon, evening here on the West Coast? Hopefully, this video and this time that we spend together are well. I'm not going to hold you. There's so many breaking news stories and hot topics and trending topics that I really want to get you guys' opinion on. So hang on tight. We're going to jump right into the first story. But listen, if you've been here for a while and you like what you see on my channel, go ahead and hit the like button. It's absolutely free and it's really quick to do. But if you're just sticking around and you're like, I want to see what's going on, stick around. I guarantee you, I'll earn that like. Anyway, shout out to everyone. Hey, Ruby. Hey, Bless Reborn. Hey, Shannon, and everyone else that will be popping in between now and the last story. Okay, so let's get started. Like I said, I have a full lineup. Like I have things to I have needs to know what you guys think. So anyway, it is being reported that the U.S. troops, the United States military, um, did a raid overnight. So we woke up to breaking news that this raid happened, and in Syria they killed the most horrible. It's reported that this ISIS leader is horrible, and it was this raid was conducted with signature precision, and they were overtaken, but in true cowardly fashion. It's been reported that this person deleted themselves as well as their family members. Now you know that generally speaking, these the people, the ISIS people, um, deleting themselves and their family members is not something that's unusual for them to do. So it's very interesting that once the U.S. troops came in, like they said, it was precision, and then he decided, you know what, instead of you taking me out, I'll take myself out. But oh, by the way, I'm going to take my children out. So U.S. forces conducted a counterterrorism mission in the northwest Syria. Now we know that whole area is like a whole hotspot right about now, and has been for many years. Late Wednesday, that killed the leader of the Islamic State terrorist group, Biden told us on Thursday. Specific forces were involved in the raid, as they usually are, in the village of Akman near Syria's border with Turkey, where the border where it borders with Turkey. That's what I'm saying. A U.S. military helicopter was destroyed on the ground during the raid, which is very common. If you know anything about some of these raids, sometimes our equipment is left behind. Unfortunately, sometimes men are left behind, which they do not try to do. But I mean, in a hostage situation, with definitely equipment, it's kind of common for equipment to be destroyed in raids. The person's name was Abu Ibrahim al Hashmi al Qurashi. Excuse me if I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, he's the one that was deleted in that raid and became the second ISIS leader in 2019. So he ascended to the top of the ranks, and you know the more horrible things they do, and the more crazy, for lack of a better term, that they are, they really excel to the top of the leadership board. So anyway, I wanted to get you guys' opinion. Is this something that you think is sort of like a false flag? Speaking of which, a couple of two stories we're going to talk about this false flag situation. But you think that this distraction? You know, Biden is taking people a lot of stuff nowadays, not being proactive enough, not being like gung ho. So was this his moment, or is this just protocol? I think it's just protocol. I think there's a whole list of people that they're always going after. This is just a feather in Biden's cap. I don't think it's going to raise the approval rating crazy too much, but it's a feather in his cap. So you need, um, I'm sorry, I'm breaking up. I don't know. Hang in there, y'all. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So yeah, so it's like you're breaking up. I'm sorry. I don't know. Anyway, so speaking of U.S. raids, our troops being involved, the next story that we woke up to that is trending is also the fact that Biden is pledging to send U.S. troops to Eastern Europe over this Russia conflict thing. Now, again, I'm not one who is stranger to deployments. I'm not one that's strange to the military. So I know these things happen all the time. Again, it kind of, a lot of people are saying, you know what, this is just Biden's way to distract among everything. You know, everybody, like I international affairs and domestic affairs, really, if you really want to be truthful. But anyway, he said that he's going to send 3,000 additional troops. Truth of the matter is, there's this misnomer that, there aren't troops deployed in that area. I'm pretty sure that the troops are still deployed in that area. So to send another 3,000 really is sending a message. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said in a news conference that the move demonstrates America's commitment to its NATO allies. The troops will be sent to Romania, Poland, and Germany. Very common. There are already troops there. But again, to send more troops definitely sends a message, number one, to the allies, but also to the enemy. So if you have someone serving in the military, make sure you love them tight. Make sure you definitely keep their comings and goings a little bit on the down low. Because again, I am not a stranger to this, but I also see where a lot of people are announcing, like, hey, my boyfriend is leaving this day, my husband, and I cringe. Because I'm like, this person must definitely be leaving the military. Because you are not supposed to be announcing people's comings and goings and stuff like that. So today is a really heavy military day, a really, especially like I said, this last story with Biden and this overnight raid, and then now the troop deployment. And then the next story is speaking of false flags, I don't know. The United States again is saying, that they have intelligence suggesting that Russia was planning a false flag operation in Ukraine. They were gonna make a video and kind of make it seem like there was a war type situation. U.S. intelligence suggests Russia may be planning a false flag operation to justify an invasion of Ukraine. So again, I wouldn't put it past them because again, we know that false flags happen. We know that they will make up stories, make up scenes, but also legitimately do things. So the U.S. official told Politico that Russia has placed a group of operatives trained in urban warfare in eastern Ukraine. Urban warfare, all of those things. The group may carry out acts of sabotage against Russia, proxy forces, giving the Kremlin an excuse to send 100,000 troops stationed outside of Ukraine into the country, the U.S. alleged. So basically, provoking. I see that you have people here on the border. I'm going to send my troops and then we're going to antagonize you. You're going to hit back, baddest thing hit my hand, and then boom, we have this full-fledged war. Is it fair? Is it honest? But it happens all the time. And, I'm not surprised. Greetings, Lucy. Your mic isn't clear tonight. I don't know why. Let me disconnect this mic. I'm gonna disconnect my mic and use a different mic. So basically, I've been talking. Let me see. All right, so this should be way better. Leave a 1 if this is better because I disconnected my mic. This is my third mic that's the mic I didn't buy. Leave a 1. Thank you for letting me know. Somebody said you were choppy. Leave a 1 if this is better. This should be better because I'm just going to go with the mic. All right, much better. Well, listen, these aren't the fun stories. I'm not even going to repeat them. Basically, the first story, let's go back a little bit because I don't know what you guys heard, what you didn't hear, or whatever. So, welcome. Hey, how you doing? Hope you guys are well. Basically, overnight, it's being reported that overnight the U.S. troops were ordered and raided an ISIS camp, and this coward not only decided to delete himself, but he also deleted his family members as a result because he didn't want to be captured by the troops. So that's a big breaking news that a huge ISIS leader was one that was captured. Well, actually, eliminated last night. And I was just talking about the fact that deleting themselves is not something that's uncommon to this group of people. And they called him horrific leader. They described him as a horrific leader and all kind of stuff. And we know that people, in order to be successful in ISIS and these extreme groups, they have to be horrific. Like, you want to climb to the charts, which they said in 2019 is when he became the leader. This guy had to be ruthless. And so a lot of people are suggesting that, this is just another false flag. This is something that Biden conjured up. I tend to think that, yes, Biden really wants favorable polling, but at the same time, I think that there's just an ongoing list of people that the United States is going after, and they just happen to get this guy. I don't think that is a false flag. But the other story that I did was talking about the Russia false flag. Basically, Russia is looking for an excuse. And U.S. intelligence is saying, hey, we got intelligence saying that Russia sent a couple of troops to the border. Basically, they're going to antagonize the Ukraine troops. And what are they going to do? Hit right back. And then we have an excuse for Russia to invade. So that's pretty much what you guys missed as far as my choppy mic and everything is concerned. So let me remove this guy because he's a little scary. So again, the last thing I was talking about is this false flag information that's going on now. Let's see. Russia is laying groundwork to fabricate the attack. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan hinted during a briefing on Thursday. So the question then becomes, do you really think that Russia needs an excuse? Do foreign countries need an excuse? And I guess when you think about NATO and war games and different things like that, that is strategy. Like, even when you're playing a board game, you don't always play, especially if it's one where you got to talk trash or whatever, and mind games are involved. Absolutely. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. If they're looking to jump, they're going to provoke and do whatever it is that they need to do to have some sort of reaction so that they can invade. So I'm not surprised by that at all. Not surprised at all. So I'm going to transition because that was a whole lot of military talk, a whole lot of war talk. And again, I wanted you guys to know, because like I said, if you have someone that's in the military, a loved one, they typically can't tell you everything, but they may be moving and shaking. So hold them dearly in your heart, pray for them, protect them, cover them with your words and love, but just understand it's a hot time for the military troops, for real. Watching from Cleveland, Ohio. Good evening, everyone. Ruth Dobson. Hey, Ruth, good to see you. Crazy weather you guys got going on up there. Well, speaking of crazy, Whoopi Goldberg is in the hot seat. Whoopi is one of the primary moderators on the talk show, The View. And she became a part of the hot topics this week after making a statement about the Holocaust that caused people, including her fellow panelists, to get in a tizzy. What ended up happening was there was backlash, and then ABC decided to suspend her for 2 weeks. It's being reported that Whoopi is really upset about their decision, but also she is contemplating quitting. I don't think she should quit. I understood exactly what she was trying to say. I think that both things could be true. So what did she say? She said basically that let me see. Let me make sure. She said, I said the Holocaust wasn't about race and was instead about man's inhumanity towards other men. I don't understand listen, some of you guys, if you agree with ABC, if you agree with the outrage, please leave a comment down below, sincerely, because I don't understand what she said wrong. So let's repeat. She said that the Holocaust was not about race, but it was about crimes, one man against another. Is that not, yes. I think it was one of the most, besides slavery, inhumane things that one could do. And her thinking was, okay, it couldn't have been about race because both people were white. Both both sides were white. So then I'm like, okay, so what was the big deal? What was the big deal? Well, as I was doing my research, a lot of people were suggesting that Jewish people really didn't consider themselves white. News to me. Well, what are they? I don't know. Again, pardon my ignorance. Well, in a classy manner, Whoopi came back and she was like, I'm going to apologize. So she apologized and she said, listen, I wasn't meaning to offend. And I know it's one thing to try to cancel people because they meant what they said and they meant to be derogatory. I don't think Whoopi meant it to be derogatory because I think both things can be true. Both things can be true. It could be a crime against race, but it also definitely was an inhumane act, one man against another, point blank, period. So for people to dismiss the inhumanity of it makes me really question people and question how we see one another. Because for her to say that, and for people to really, really, I mean, she caught it by some people. It lets me know, do you guys think that the people that the Jewish people, that these things happen to, do you not think that they weren't human? I don't know. It's weird to me. It's very weird. This whole reaction is coming off to me like, oh, we've been waiting for you to say something crazy. What's interesting is Whoopi is, quote, a friend of the Jews, for lack of a better term. She's not an anti-Semite. So I'm like, what, I don't know, y'all. Leave a comment. Replay gang, enlighten me. If you are on team ABC, if you are on team keep Whoopi off the view, please, 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 with all good intentions, please let me know why this was a wrong statement that people feel like, oh, let's cancel Whoopi. I just don't agree with it at all. So anyway, on a view, she ended up apologizing. And after her on-air apology, Whoopi Goldberg hosted a discussion with Anti-Defamation League President Jonathan Greenbelt. So of course, we got the PR thing coming and we're going to have a conversation. I mean, it's the same thing happened to Nick Cannon. You know, I'm going to I'm sorry, I offended you. I'm going to work on it. And I'm going to go home for 2 weeks and think about what I said. Well, here's the thing. Whoopi is pissed, like I said, and she's probably home like, you know what? I'm not going to be censored like this, especially if I know I'm coming from a good place. That's what makes it more frustrating, I believe, because she came from a good place, but also what she said, I'm sorry, was true. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So that's it on that. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this story. If you think that it's a reach, do you think, are you on Whoopi's side, ABC's side? Let me know what you guys are thinking about that. Anyway, speaking of race and racial tension, you guys, unless you've been living under a rock or you don't really follow sports, I think there's a greater story here. And I think that Brian Flores thinks that it's a greater story here. Well, anyway, he is making breaking news, trending news, because he is alleging racial inequality in the NFL. So the Miami Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, issued a fiery response to the claims made by the ex-coach Brian Flores, which you see on the screen. Well, what did he say? He said, so basically, he said, let's see. In the lawsuit, Flores accuses Ross of offering him $100,000 for every game lost during the 2019 season in an effort to tank for the #1 draft pick. That Flores' first job, it was his first year. Flores was fired in January after 3 seasons, the last 2 of which produced winning records. He claims that the team conducted a smear campaign in the media and the league circles after his dismissal in an effort to paint him as an angry black man. Well, we already know that that is very common. The whole angry black woman, angry black man, that is common. It's unfortunate. So, in addition to the allegations of racist hiring practice, Flores claims that Ross offered to pay him to lose Lose raises significant concerns about the integrity of the NFL. So I'm going to pay you. So if you lose, but then I'm going to start this smear campaign so that I can fire you. Do you guys know that there's only one? I think as I was reading this, there's only one black NFL head coach. That speaks volumes. Trust that the games are played fairly and honestly is at the heart of what makes the NFL. We can't say the way some of these people are blackballed and highlighted and other people are paid way more than the other. I'm not surprised with these allegations. Leave a comment down below if you watch football and you think, he's got a point. The NFL issued a blanket denial of Flores' claims shortly after his lawsuit went public on Tuesday, dismissing the entirety of his allegations as without merit. Flores' lawsuit also leveled accusations of racial discrimination against the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants and the NFL while citing alleged text from New York Bill Belichick. So the NFL is in the hot seat. Are we surprised? Whoopi is always bringing the truth. Yeah, I think so too. Audio much better. Thank you. Yeah, I disconnected the mic. I don't know what's going on. Things happen. So anyway, if you follow NFL and what's going on, I mean, the most popular subject is Colin Kaepernick, and how he's been blackballed. And I have tons of videos about about that situation and how I feel like it's the outrage was towards him and he did the right thing. Not only, I'm not even gonna do it. Nope. So anyway, the NFL finds himself in the hot seat as a result of these allegations. Speaking of hot seat, on to the next subject. Now, y'all see the next news subject. Now, y'all see Chris Cuomo. He's peeking. He's like, so y'all came after me. Well, this is Jeff Zucker. He is the president of CNN, and he resigned after a consensual relationship with a key lieutenant. I am bringing this story because I really want to know I kind of know or have a feeling of what you guys feel about this, but do y'all care? Do y'all care to the point where Chris needs to be, assault, that's one thing. But this was a mutual affair between the CNN president and someone else. CNN Worldwide President Jeff Zucker, the influential news executive who reshaped the iconic network, announced Wednesday morning that he has resigned from his position effective immediately. You know how many people would have to resign over an affair? I don't know. This story is really, this is another one that's weird to me. It's very weird to me. Zucker's stunning announcement came less than 2 months after he fired primetime anchor Chris Cuomo. Now y'all see Chris there. He's smiling like, you fired me, but look at you without a job. Look at you without a job because of your relationships, because of your entanglements. I think it's two different things. I'm not quite sure if Chris should have been fired, but maybe he should have been fired because if he interfered with something and that's illegal. But yeah, Zucker's stunning announcement came less than 2 months. So I said that as part of the investigation into Chris Cuomo's tenure at CNN, I was asked about a consensual relationship with my closest colleague, someone who I've worked with for more than 20 years. Zucker told employees in a memo, I acknowledge the relationship evolved in recent years. I was required to disclose it when it began, but I didn't. Okay, makes sense. But who around here is actually reporting affairs? Here's the thing. There's certain jobs that stereotypically people are like, oh, stay away from this, stay away from that. They say Amazon, UPS, mail, the milkman, military, different jobs. Like there's so much commingling. And so what CNN is saying, listen, when we asked you about this relationship, you should have disclosed it and you didn't. And so he got fired. Leave a comment down below. Replay gang, all y'all that are watching now, do you think that this is warranted? I feel like he's being fired for an affair. It's silly to me. I think it's silly. Key lieutenant, what is that? Exactly. So exactly. That's what I was saying. What the heck is a key lieutenant? I just said, you know what? I interpreted as, okay, a couple of people under him, someone, a supervisor. What's a key lieutenant? That's not even a military term. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So Zucker did not name his colleague, but the relationship is with Allison Galust, his key lieutenant for the last 2 decades. So, key lieutenant, was she his secretary? I don't know. But here's the interesting part. She gets to keep her job. She is not leaving her job, but he is. Zucker and Galus began working together in 1998. They rose through the ranks at the network together. And when Zucker joined CNN, she was also one of his hires. Just before coming to CNN, she'd worked briefly with Andrew Cuomo. So that's how they're all connected. They're all connected. This is crazy. This is crazy. In a statement of her own, Allison's Galus said, Jeff and I have been close friends and professional partners for over 20 years. Recently, our relationship changed during COVID. I regret that we didn't disclose it at the time. I'm incredibly proud of my time at CNN, and I look forward to continuing the great work we do every day. So Allison Galus is letting y'all know, I'm not quitting. Y'all can put the pressure on him to quit. Now, here's the thing. Those of you that work corporate, what happens if you find out, let's say 2 coworkers are dating and they didn't disclose it? Is it extreme for him to quit, or is this him trying to avoid being fired? Like what happens? Because I remember when I used to work for the state years ago, and there was this guy that was rumored to have had relationships with someone else. They just moved him. But I don't know if this makes this, I don't know if the fact that they didn't disclose it makes it a little bit different. I don't know, y'all. Leave a comment down below. I'm just here to let y'all know Jeff Zucker is out of CNN. I don't know for how long, because I don't believe it won't be for too long before he's like, oh, just kidding. He'll be back. Well, speaking of quitting and discharging, also in the news, and we're almost done, friends. We're also in the news is it's been being reported. It was reported that American military was required to get the vaccine. And so today, troops that have not gotten the vaccine up to today, they have began to discharge soldiers. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, if you agree with this. They said if you refuse the COVID-19 vaccination, you will be discharged. U.S. Army soldiers who refuse to be vaccinated for COVID-19 will soon be discharged, the military branch announced on Wednesday. So pardon me, this is just an Army thing. So it's not a joint collective branch thing. So policy. The Army said it will immediately begin separating soldiers from the service who refuse to be vaccinated or who don't have an approved pending request for an exemption. Army readiness depends on soldiers who are prepared to train, that's true, deploy, fight, and win our nation's wars. Unvaccinated soldiers present a risk to the force and jeopardizes readiness. In the true sense of the pandemic and spread, I see her point, because military soldiers definitely have to be ready to go at a moment's notice. And even when we're talking about going into foreign nations, the U.S. still has to follow the law of the land at times when they're into these foreign places. So that's very interesting. It's not interesting. It's a valid point. It's a valid point. Soldiers who are discharged or refusing to be vaccinated will not be eligible for involuntary separation pay. Wow. And may have to return any unearned special or incentive pay. So what does that mean? When they ETS get out the military or retire out the military, there may be some separation pay that is owed to the soldier or awarded to the soldier. But then also at the same time, when new soldiers come into the military, sometimes there's bonuses. So, hey, here's $10,000 for joining the military. or even when they re-enlist. So, hey, here's another $10,000 because you re-enlisted, or 5,000 or whatever. What they're saying is because you are leaving under these terms, you may have to pay back or not be given what those awards that were given to you. You may have to pay them back. So as of January 26th, it said that 96% of active duty troops have been completely vaccinated. That's a high percentage rate. While 3,350 soldiers have refused to get the vaccine, nearly 5,000 have received temporary exemptions. So the good news is they are awarding exemptions for those that don't want to get the vaccination. Those who have asked for medical exemption or religious accommodations are temporarily exempt. So I wonder what this temporary thing means. To date, Army commanders have revealed a total of 6 regular Army leaders, including 2 battalion leaders, and that's huge. Like that's a huge leader. Well, not a huge leader. That's a leader with great responsibility. I'll say it that way. And issued 3,000 general officers written reprimands to soldiers for refusing the vaccination. The Pentagon began requiring members of the military to get vaccinated last summer. So not only if you're in the medical field, I'm hearing state workers, I'm hearing people across the board in a variety of occupations that are choosing to leave their jobs and not get the vaccination. And so, yeah, I know. Shannon says, wow, now that's just stupid. The only folks who tell on folks for relationships are most often retaliation for something. Okay. CNN ain't never let them go. It's just news to get us back to watching CNN. Exactly. And look, I haven't even watched CNN. So you guys in the chat seem like you're a little bit behind me, but that's fine. We're going to keep going on to our next story. Well, if you're just tuning in, make sure you hit the like button. Wait a minute. Let me just play this. If you're liking my channel, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Right now, do it. Right now, do it. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Melissa Berrien of Real Talk with Melissa Berrien, and I am bringing commentary to breaking and odd news and hot topics that we have across the globe. And more importantly, I like to hear what you guys got to say. That's what makes my show a little bit different. I love to hear feedback from you guys. So if you're catching a replay, you have a comment, please, please, please leave a comment down below. I will definitely answer you. If you've been around and you are a commenter, you already know. Yes, I come back to comment. So would it be considered as a dishonorable discharge? Ruby, I was wondering about that because, let me see. I was wondering about that because it didn't mention that. And there are different types of discharges, as you mentioned. So I was like, and because it didn't mention it, I'm assuming not. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm more concerned about the money. I'm like, y'all not gonna give me my bonus if I don't. So yeah, I don't know. It's a, like I said, it's a situation that I understand because again, when you're talking about deploying troops and readiness and military readiness, absolutely, we don't need anybody with COVID spreading stuff. So that's neither here nor there. Hey girl, hey soul sister, hey, good to see you. So y'all, it's the part of the day. It's the part of my show that I really, really enjoy. Please stick around for these next few stories because I really, really, really want to see what you guys have to say. What part? It's the odd news section. And odd, sometimes it means ridiculous. Sometimes it means strange. Sometimes it means it's a good story, but it's absolutely extreme. Well, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 stories that I really want to get you guys' opinion on because I thought some of them were funny. Some of them. This first story, listen, quite strange. Okay. How do I begin? Well, this mother made the news because because she claims that she was assaulted with the assaulted in the metaverse. That's right. If you don't know, I reported previously that the metaverse is basically a virtual world. And I likened it to The Sims. And so, this virtual world, and you create an avatar. Y'all see her avatar right there. And you see her. I say it looks just like her. She says, within minutes of joining the metaverse. So, let me put it in other terms. Within minutes of opening up The Sims, within minutes of creating my avatar, she was being groped and handled unwantedly. I got to speak in metaphors and kind of cryptid on this part just for YouTube's sake. The woman who reported being groped in a virtual reality late last year has come forward to discuss her horrifying experience. Disclaimer: in The Sims, you can be groped unwantedly. Like, all these things happen. This is weird to me. This is weird. She goes, within 60 seconds of joining, I was verbally and blank harassed. 3 to 4 male avatars. I'm going to repeat that. 3 to 4 avatars with male voices, essentially but virtually, gang-ard my avatar and took photos. Let that marinate. Let that sink in. We're not talking about an actual universe, 3D, living where we're at. Virtual world. As I tried to get away, they yelled, "Don't pretend you didn't love it and go do something to yourself in a photo." Now, I don't think any type of harassment is appropriate. None of it should be condoned. But leave a comment down below. Should this be breaking news? Should this be a hot topic as it is? I'm telling you, if you've never picked up your children's headphones when they're playing these games and hear the language and the things that's being said, what is it? The car, the game, not Game of Thrones. It's the car one, GTA, I want to say. This is Nina Jane Patel, 43, recalled in a Medium post recounting the nightmare she experienced at a beta tester on virtual reality platform Horizon Worlds created by Meta, not Mega, the company formerly known as Facebook. So, you put in the little, the little virtual reality glasses. And like I said, I liken it to The Sims. A horrible experience that happened so fast, and before I could even think about putting the safety barrier in place. This is just weird. It's just weird. In December, the company revealed that a then unnamed woman had been virtually groped. So, bottom line, as weird as this is, do you think that she has a case? Do you think she should be able to track down the avatars and track down the actual people behind the avatars? And should they be charged or restraining order on the metaverse? I'm not making light of this, but I'm confused. As someone that plays games interactively, you get slap punched, everything. Like, I don't understand. So what's your intentions? What's your intentions? I'm going to read your comments in a minute. Harassment in the metaverses is a serious issue that the industry needs to come together to put in place the correct security controls and safety measures. Y'all comment. You guys comment. Tell me. Patel, this is what she wrote in an email statement to the Post. This will continue to be problematic for both men and women as our world fast moves from 2D internet as we know it into 3D space. Again, as someone that plays The Sims, I'm like, girl, go sit down. And don't mess around and get a mod, which is a modification. So you modify the game. Some of these mods are wild. drug dealer mods, like gory mods, all kind of stuff. Perhaps that type of game is not for you, ma'am. But to suggest the things that happen to your avatar happen to you, and now you want the whole gaming world and or metaverse to change. Indeed, the assault she endured on the platform has left her concerned about the metaverse's level of safety for adults, children, and alike. I guess that's my question. Was she harmed? Please let me know. Leave a comment down below. Was she harmed? And anxious to prevent others from having similar experiences. So Metaverse responded, and they said, we're sorry to hear this happened. We want everyone in Horizon venues to have a positive experience. Easily find the safety tools that can help in a situation like this. What are the safety tools? A button? Just, there you go. And then the police come running? Like, come on. What are we talking about? Horizon venues should be safe. And how was it not safe? It's a game. It's a metaverse. It's a virtual world. I'm done. I'm reading your comments. Something similar was reported on the news back when The Sims had an online interactive game back in the day. Not the R word, but fighting and the assault. They do that now. And I don't remember Sims being interactive. But you might be thinking of a different simulation game. Sims do just about everything. No, they do everything that humans can do. You can control them to do that. And then, like I said, don't mess around and buy a modification, because those modifications, they are gruesome. I can't name what they are, but let's just say if you can think of a situation happening, someone has created a modification, you download it, and now you can do that to your Sims. I don't know. Bless Reborn, I agree with you. She says she should have logged off. I agree. Then she should contact Metaverse. That's what exactly. And then the Metaverse police should have came. And then what? Y'all, this is crazy. Crazy to me. It's odd. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this story. I thought this story was absolutely strange. It was odd, and I wanted to bring it to you guys to see what it is that you guys thought about this, because I could not be the only person that thought this was strange. Now, on the other hand, if you're like, Melissa, I get it. She was assaulted. This shouldn't have happened, and we got to respect women and all of that. Please leave a comment down below. Enlighten me. The Sims were interactive back when they had Sims 1. I was playing back then. I never was able to play with my cousins or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. I'll research it, because you could be right for sure. Now, let's see. On to a lighter note. From one gaming usage to another. Y'all see the cute little baby. Is she cute? So cute. Well, her mom didn't think she was cute. Mom puts her down for a nap. And just like most of us, we're like, oh, so cute. Time for nap time. Here, little baby. Play with my phone while you go to sleep. I don't do that. I personally don't. I don't let kids play with my phone, even though my daughter takes my phone and then takes like a ton of pictures and whatever, but that's just a teenage thing. Well, anyway, not this cute little baby, but a baby just like this cute little baby decided, listen, I want to play on Mama's watch. And she called 911 during nap time. A Michigan couple who allowed their 3-year-old to play with what they thought was an inoperative Apple Watch said they were shocked when they called 911. Leon Hendricks' post on Facebook showing the baby monitor camera footage from the 3-year-old son Landon's nap time conversation with 911. So I got to play it. I have to play it. So let me share the screen. Let's see what he said. All right, here it is.
A shock turned into a big laugh and a lesson from a West Michigan couple to other busy parents of toddlers out there.
News 8's Emily Leonard joins us in studio now with the story behind the 911 call from the defunct Apple Watch.
Well, Brian and Sue, this story features one of our former colleagues, Leon Hendricks, and his growing family. Leon and his wife, Andrea, are expecting baby number 3 this month. That is 3 boys in 3.5 years, so they have their hands full. But last night, a bungled bedtime resulting in a big surprise, some big laughs, and a lesson for all of us.
The old news van, I mean, the first thing you go to is, did we send video? Was that recorded?
This story from inside the Hendricks house involves a lot of tech, a baby monitor that records when it senses sound.
And I was listening and I'm like, wait, is that someone else talking?
And an old Apple Watch.
It was like one of the original series watches.
Oh no.
And I was like, I haven't used it in years. It's probably not connected to a phone. What's the harm in him looking at it with a Mickey, Apple Watch?
If you follow Leon on Facebook, you already know his 3-year-old son Landon loves Mickey Mouse.
That's Mickey.
You know, I'm always posting pictures of the kids, videos of the kids, but when we realized this happened, we were freaking out.
The kids are on the Apple Watch calling 911, and he's like, oh no!
Go take the phone to your mommy so I can talk to her.
This was 9 o'clock Monday night. Andrea, who works from home, was on the clock in the basement. Leon was relaxing on the phone with his sister. The boys had been tucked into their beds in their newly shared bedroom.
When it was happening, I was like freaking out, obviously, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he called 911, and I was like, how long has it been going on for? And are they on the way here?
The call times out to almost 7 minutes long.
We edited out the part where I charged into the room in my
It is under there.
The day after, Landon still has his watch with Mickey on it,
I got a watch.
but now it's in airplane mode.
Landon, can you show Miss Emily your watch? Show it to her. Hold it up so she can see.
Nice. It's definitely one for the baby book,
I can't talk to everybody on the watch.
Yeah, you can't talk to everybody on the watch.
but also a lesson learned.
We do sincerely apologize for making this mistake and taking their time. We couldn't be more grateful for the dispatchers and what they do.
All right. So again, if you're the type of person that just sits and lets your kids like, hey, use this old phone, use this old watch. I don't know. There's a few things that I'm like, okay, I have an Apple Watch. I don't know how they didn't think that it was not operable. I don't know how they thought that, because at first when I saw the story, I was like, okay, why would they think if the watch was on, okay, if you're watching the monitor and the watch turns on, then why would you think that it wouldn't email or call or whatever? That was my first thought. Second of all, why would you give a toddler a Apple Watch that turns on? So I just was like, okay. Like I said, I'm not the type where I'm going to give my kid my actual phone or whatever, because you know how the meme goes. You got games on your phone? Yeah. Professor Black Ops Security for the People did a video on how sick people are hacking these babies. Watch your own kids in real life, y'all. Exactly. Watch your own kids. Do not listen, my soapbox moment is a lot of these kids having access, and some of them unlimited access to the internet and peripherals. Like, they're babysitting your children. And I agree with Blind Guy. Like, the things that children are getting into and seeing, you guys really need to watch what your kids are doing. But okay. The EMFs of Wi-Fi are damaging to the kids. So my kids are getting the old-fashioned toy phone. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to be pessimistic and think, oh, you just did that for clout. You tried to, I don't know, you want to get promoted at the news station. They seem sincere. However, like I said, I don't see, first of all, there was a bed, and I'm like, why were they both in a crib? That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. I was like, why would you give them, it's a reach to suggest that the Apple Watch turned the Apple Watch on. That's what I'm trying to say. Like the 3-year-old knew to press that button and turn it on. So I was just like, okay, that's strange. But the other part is the kid didn't need it. This is not a funny matter. 7 minutes, somebody in distress couldn't get through. Exactly. To me, there's a lot going on in this story that made me go, okay, that's strange. Okay. Especially because the article, the headline says it was nap time. So I was thinking that this was like an older kid nap time. Some parents give their kids these peripherals. I don't, but let's just say they do. But the fact that it was bedtime and they got an Apple Watch and all, listen, I don't want to be a skeptic, but it sounds a little sketch. But overall, it was odd. Wow, that was not smart. Nope. Whatever happened to a teddy bear or a plush toy when they're taking a nap? No, this was, according to them, this was bedtime. This was at night. So that changes my whole perception as well, perspective as well. Because I'm not putting my kid down with an Apple Watch. That's weird. That's weird. It was weird. That's why it's in this segment. That's why. Let's see. What is this? You know what else is weird? What else is weird is this story. So, and I'm seeing this in Texas. I'm seeing this in Florida. I'm seeing this across the United States. And I wanted to bring this story because I want to add to the conversation, and I may talk about this another day. However, it seems like there's this campaign to make individuals feel comfortable about their ancestors' choices, to the point where we're now banning books again in the United States. There is a Florida bill that has advanced. It is to ban making white people feel bad about racism. And no, this isn't a joke. So there's so many things that I want to add and kind of digest. It's an actual bill. Now, I've heard this before. Oh, you just want this, critical race theory. You want this, you want that, whatever. Not going to lie. I have not researched critical race theory and all of that. One thing I did see was, okay, is this a new idea? No, it isn't. I did hear that. But that's not what we're talking about. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. What I'm talking about is the notion that Black History Month, who we are, curriculum designed to tell about the atrocities against one human to another, not just Black, I mean everyone, at some point is going to make you uncomfortable if, I'd like to suggest, you believe it or you support it. So a quick question for the group: despite constantly complaining that liberals are easily triggered, snowflakes, Republicans actually are the most ridiculously sensitive people, the article says, on earth. So much so that they can't stand the idea of factual, accurate conversations about race in this country. I saw it during the Black Lives Matter era with all that protesting and all of that stuff. People either went radio silent, or they stood up, or they were like, I want to say something, but I'm going to just not, because I'm uncomfortable. I don't know if people understand that when you have bills like this, banning books and everything else, because you're uncomfortable about the conversation, please don't turn around and say that you want change in America. Please don't turn around and say, I'm a part of the solution, because you're not. Here's the other thing that I thought about. And y'all can go ahead and comment. And replay gang, go ahead and comment, because I'm going to get off the soapbox in a minute. The other thing is, why aren't they banning curriculum talking about slavery? Because don't you think that would make us uncomfortable? No, you could talk about slavery. You could talk about other just atrocious things that have happened. Just don't talk about my ancestors' participation in the matter. Well, let's see. What did it say? And now we're going so far as to try to effectively ban said conversations. The conversations need to happen. The conversations need to happen, especially if you are your ancestors were part of the people that own plantations and stuff like that. If that's in your family, number one, disclaimer, I'm not holding you responsible. But are these people really serious? Don't make me uncomfortable. I saw it. I saw a news article the other day. A woman petitioned to have this program ended because she didn't want her son or daughter to feel bad. Empathy. Nobody wants you to feel guilty. No one wants you to feel, I don't want you to feel, I'll say me. I don't want you to feel guilty. I don't want you to feel responsible for your ancestors. But at the same time, I think empathy goes a long way. Empathy caused me to be really sensitive to the Holocaust and everything that's involved there. Absolutely. I can't imagine if someone said, you know what, let's not teach about this. Let's not teach about that because it's going to make the people feel bad. Are y'all serious? On Tuesday, a bill backed by the governor, Ron DeSantis, that would prohibit public schools and private businesses from inflicting discomfort on white people during lessons or training about discrimination was approved by the state Senate Education Committee. Its first hurdle before becoming a law. Are y'all serious? First of all, I want to see if y'all are commenting because I'm not even looking. First of all, hey, Keandra, who's to say what discomfort is? That is such a loose term. That is such an immature term, in my opinion. Because here's the thing, as an adult, you put your grown pants up and we have the difficult conversations. Discomfort? Do you know the backlash and the snowball effect that a bill like this can have? Gone are the EO sensitivity trainers at work, because all I have to do is stand up and say, this is making me feel uncomfortable, and I don't have to go. Or let's just not have it at all. And I think physical disabilities aren't the only thing that should be protected by classes and orientations to make others aware of what other people are going through or have gone through. This is messy. It is immature. And I'm telling you, this is monumental. Because how can you measure one's discomfort? What does that even mean? Someone could read the title. Okay, coming up on March 5th, you're going to have the Black American Experience training, and we want you to go. Oh, God, I'm so uncomfortable right now. I'm not going. Okay, we're going to take that training. Understanding Mexican heritage. Nope, I don't like it. Oh, well, let's take that training. Public schools and private businesses from inflicting discomfort. Now, the only thing that I would qualify as discomfort when we're talking about subject matters like that is if the presenter is outright pointing to someone and saying, you did slavery. You are like, no one's blaming you. This is too much. The bill, SB 148, seemingly grew out of the conservative hysteria over, quote, critical race theory, which, as a reminder, is an academic concept based on the idea that racism is not about individual people's prejudices, but about institutions and policies, the article says. It does not, as GOP lawmakers and their partners in the right-wing media would have us believe, teach that all white people are racist. The bill, sponsored by State Senator Manny Diaz Jr., read in part, an individual by virtue of his or her race or sex does not bear responsibility for actions committed in the past by other members. Absolutely. No, absolutely. I wouldn't want my non-Black counterparts to feel responsible for their ancestors, whatever that means. For the same thing that Native Americans aren't holding us and anybody else responsible for what happened to them, and go on down the wonderful list. But what you're saying is we can't have these conversations about history, about curriculum, which is a part of the American history, which is an insult to even suggest that our history is separate from the American history. That's a whole nother soapbox moment. But to suggest, if you begin to talk about this and you make someone feel uncomfortable, you're going to be in violation. This bill's not for Blacks. This bill was not for any other race, said Senator Shervin Jones. This was directed to make whites not feel bad about what happened years ago. At no point did anyone say white people should be held responsible for what happened. But what I would ask my white counterparts is, are you an enabler of what happened, or are you going to say we must talk about history? Now, here's the thing. What I don't like to that point is an echo chamber of conversation. I do not participate in that. So no, I don't think we should just be talking to talking. We need to be talking to educate. Do you know in the past couple of years how much I have learned about Black history in my latter adulthood versus my early adulthood, because it wasn't taught? And within the past couple of years, the news and everything has just, well, my Facebook feed, different feeds and different initiatives have been coming out to be intentional about, hey, did you know that was invented by a Black person? Did you know about this? Did you know about that? Did you know? But what some people are saying is, I don't want to hear that, because I don't want to hear about how Central Park was destroyed. I don't want to hear about Black Wall Street being destroyed, because it makes me uncomfortable. So you don't teach it. No. So again, I don't want to be a part of the echo chamber where people are just talking, and there's no education, there's no growth or anything. But most people that are responsible adults, responsible educators, are educating and informing so that we can go make the world a better place, for lack of a better term. So that's my soapbox moment. You guys leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this bill. Did you hear about this bill? Is there something going on in your state that you are aware of concerning critical race theory or making whites, quote, feel uncomfortable? How weird is that? I think it's weird. I think it's weird. Why would you even own that? I don't know. Anyway, I'm at the top of the hour. I was going to do another story, but I'll just do a video. I think I'm going to do a video. I have a couple of videos that I want to get out on some news that I did not cover. And make sure you check out those videos, because it's not just news, but it's commentary that I would really like to hear you guys' opinion on, so that we can kind of grow with and for the greater good, I guess you could say. But it's an interactive place. So let me get that off. Yeah. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, I'm Melissa Berrien, your host of Real Talk with Melissa Berrien. This is my Thursday night show. Immediately after this show, I will be putting in the timestamps, but also make sure you come back tomorrow, because I will be here same time with Lauren, Melissa, where we'll be doing our Sipping and Just Saying, where we take no serious topics at all, none whatsoever, and we bring them up. We have commentary, and it's a good time. It's a fun time. So with that being said, that's our news for today. If you're catching the replay, just depending on how bad and choppy it is, actually, I might just delete the beginning part out. So I'm not even gonna say anything to that. So anyway, friends, yeah, let's see. Timestamps make life easy. Makes my life easy, for sure. So I'll be putting the timestamps in, but like I said, if the audio is really, really jacked up in the beginning, I'm going to cut all that from the point and fix them, edit it out. Just like I'm going to edit all this small talk out. Anyway, I hope you guys, hey, OG, we are headed out. Catch the replay. There will be timestamps. Just give me about 4 minutes to write them in. Anyway, my friends, thank you. Thank you for joining in. Make sure you hit the like button. Hey, new subscribers, what's up? Yeah, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Oh, no, I forgot to say it. Be kind. I got my Be Kind shirt on. Make sure you're kind to people because you just never know what they are going through. And again, if you just feel the need to, there are some people that you want to give them the middle finger. Just give it to them and then brush off. Don't stress about it. Don't stress about people. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.